see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty.
David, but bring them to their knees will not be easy. Between each other, person and their swindle. We can take advantage of their vulnerability. Them and you have got it all figured out. So when do we begin? Very soon. The fall of their church is near, very near. He burst into out with laughter. This like it. Standing in front of him, Miracle fixes jet black hair and puts on his wristwatch. He runs his finger through his hair again. Perfect. Asma gives on happiness as he takes one last glance at his reflection and walk out, entering the living room. His eyes immediately finding you sitting between them and Janko. He walked toward you. All you lift your eyes to take in the sight of your dad. You have the expensive black shirt with matching pants. I'm heading to the farmhouse and it'll be meeting with the Shane Group. You too. He will shut him over nose with his finger as he speaks. We will take care of it. He knows it's your Jimmy gives you one last glance before turning to leave, but his steps halt at the sound of your voice. Wait, Jimmy, you stand up and approach him. He turns toward you, raising a close eye, questioning the reason you stopped him. I want to come with you to the farmhouse. You take a stand off here behind you here as you speak. You don't have any business adventures. He says, you hold on to his arm. I know, but I just want to get out. I would. Please take me with you. You give him the most pleading eyes and he shakes his head with a soft chuckle, but presently forces you start to whine you about intensifying. Please take me with you. I just need to get out. Please, I'm begging you. You must tremble with desperation, chewing up your face in his palm and leaning close. Never bite me, princess, unless you are under me. He whispered in his cute voice, making your eyes blink rapidly, instant understanding, your throat tightening as you swoon. So, are you taking me or not? You press your lips and Jimmy grabs your wrist. Smile stretches across your face as you walk beside him, getting into the car. And specific reason you wanted to come to the farmhouse? He glanced at you while you were looking out the window with a soft smile. You turned to him. I just wanted to get out. I can't be caged forever for my safety. You don't frustrate. Jimmy looks at you and cups your face in his rough hand. Once we eliminate all our enemies, no one will ever stop you from going out again. He reassures you and pick your lips gently. The cars pull up in front of a grand farmhouse. The watchman opens the gate and several cars enter. You step out and your eyes land on the magnificent estate. It was breathtaking. You walk over, catching sight of a large, beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers. Your eyes widen as you spot a small pond nestled in the garden. You rush toward it. Oh, Jimmy, this garden is stunning. There is even a pond. You scream with joy. Jimmy tucks his hands into his pockets and walk up behind you. You like this place? They whisper near your ear from behind. If you glance around before speaking, yes, I just love this place. It's incredibly beautiful. You smile with your happiness and lean in. Good, I'm heading over there. You go inside. You wanted to put a separate room in the garden. You know, and you walk off accompanied by cards. It's been almost 10 months since we got married with everything. Well, it's changed. In the beginning, the way you toward me was unbelievable and respectful, but now it's just like when I sit down to them, my soul. It's gone for them. Their eyes no longer hold darkness for me, only warmth and care. I know what destiny has for us, but I feel I belong to them. No matter what policy, maybe love will find us. But I just don't know why they are so protective of me, as if they had protected me with their everywhere. One time I was just 5 minutes late from shopping with Sophia, and they dropped everything to find me just to make sure I was safe. I walk out after taking care of that hotel plan in a type of witness. Rain started to fall and can't open an umbrella for me, but I stopped my eyes, find her. She's out in the rain, laughing, spending her dress, coming to her like a second skin. Every curve, every inch of her exposed to my hungry eyes. I glanced around. A small curse on my lips, watching all the guards have their eyes lowered as they should. No one has a right to see my lady in this state. I moved toward her, sparkling eyes full of joy. She looked so good and beautiful and dangerous at the same time. You stop and run to him. Sip your lips when he suddenly pushed you into him by the wrist. My pleasure is enjoying myself now. He speaks and speaks, and in our exchange of your hair, his gaze following the cute of raindrop sliding from your forehead to your cheek, then your neck and his continue to play with me or stop my every drop. Only with his lips didn't pull me to him, and I land on his chest. His eyes and secrets just my phone with lips dangerously, and the cold rain of closeness was setting a fire inside me. Why didn't you go inside? He leans in, his lips dangerously close, catching your breath. I just wanted to enjoy the day. Your voice comes out in a whisper, his lips behind your jaw, sucking deeply, making your nails happy. You just quiet me, you will be your ears sending shiver down your spine. I told you I wanted to feel the rain escape as he bites down on your middle, a weak spot. I should punish you for disobedience. His lips move down your jaw to your neck like this, leaving a trail of fire behind. Tell me, will you accept my punishment? He claws deep, grazing your skin, your eyes turn brown. And you somehow manage to push him back a little, covering his mouth as he said, but not yet. You lean in and whisper, that's when his hand slides behind your knees, down around your waist, and you are in his palm. He holds your gaze as he starts walking, carrying you inside, and gently places you on the couch. Your eyes lock with his, which burning with desire, hunger filled with a longing that made your heart thud. You drink in the sight of him with your bare eyes, the way he hovered above you, his breath brushing your forehead. You just stare into his eyes, soft, calm, yet seemful deep. Finger trends in your vein, awaken and stopping beats inside me, driving where the aching desire to have her. I bring her in and lay her down the couch. Her soft eyes are fixed on me, no longer filled with anger or hatred like before. It was as if she wanted me just as much as I wanted her. I could feel the underlying direction, the way she did not push me away, the way she put it on with those innocent eyes of her auntie made me crave her more, made me want to lose control. I'm sorry for the past, for my behavior, for my cruelty, for never respecting you, and for this stunning destiny that made you feel like a prisoner. He says kissing her chin tightly, you look into his eyes and see the guilt rock consuming for everything he had done. I know my action can't be justified, but I never his frequency. There was a reason behind our beautiful sign of her still resting on his cheek. After Ted announced about your wedding, every man in their lover wanted you. They still do. Every have already every man you who only wanted you for throne. That's why we had to hold this night to protect her from their ability to ever keep. Begging there was always something about you that pulled us in, and when you refused to accept it, the frustration and anger you did everything things we never should have done to me. To see to your eyes, you put your hand back from his teeth. You three disrespected me. You even tried to force yourself for me. You snapped your voice shaky, dropped your face immediately. I know what we did was uncomfortable, and I'm ready to pay for it. I will beg if I have to, but I swear on my life I will never let you feel disrespected again, even if I have to throw away my own pride to do it. He speaks in low voice through the chain aside, resting his forehead against yours. I can't live without you, princess, and neither can the Jones. We can't breathe without you, love. He sees closely, his eyes and he wipes your tears away. I wanna forgive you that easily, but no, I know I can't live without you. Three times smiling, that is so slips and he kisses your eyelids softly. I'm already on my knees, pulling on your smiling tears. Your cheeks will begin to set gently on them. Right now, though you are on top of me, you roll your eyes, making me tempted. Or maybe my planet. Me, is my diversity, especially sliding against your ear. It's been more than a week since I went to the farmhouse and ever since then, all three of them never miss a chance to be blessed to me, make me feel special and respected. And oh, my friend is already given them. I can't live my self-respect for people before my actual emotions. Right now, my cheeks are burning with embarrassment, like I'm sitting with him, slap in the dining area, not by my own will, but because placed me there himself in front of everyone. Sophia, Tiara, and both my husbands are present. Let me go, Theong. I want to sit on a chair, you whisper in his ear after catching a teasing smile from Tiara. But Theong tightens his grip and speak. I'm not going to let you off my lap, he says stubbornly, and he glanced again toward Sophia and Tiara with an awkward smile. Try to understand Theong, Tiara. and Sophia are here too. It's embarrassing, you say in a low voice. Auckland turn towards Sophie and Tiara. Your presence is distracting my wife from focusing on me, so you two may excuse yourself from our romance. Your eyes widen at his word, you glare at him, and Sophia still chewing. Speak, I'm done, I'm leaving. She wipes her hand and walks off. Tiara picks up her plate and stands to carry on, bro. She smirks teasingly at her words. You shut your eyes and glare at them. There was no need to tell them to leave, you say angrily, but you just stared. They were watching you. Their gaze were disturbing you. You struck it off and you sharply said, they were not the ones disturbing me. You were yourselves made fun of them because of your shameless actions. You detested, and he catches your small faces when you look innocently in his voice brings into him, and now you say it. That's why he asked them to leave already. When I asked him to let me go, he did not listen, but when I said they were watching, he asked them to leave. You respond irritably, okay, don't be mad anymore. Have you breakfast for him? He says it in gentle tone, and you look back at them with a twisting brow. He was looking at you with an apologetic expression. I'm sorry, forgive me, at least eat something. He puts your face softly, but you shoot him a sharp look. Then he leans in and kisses your cheek. I'm sorry, my princess. His lips lay around your neck. To your collarbone with chanting, sorry, I'm sorry, forgive me, I will only listen to you. He looks into your eyes, which now hold no trace of anger. Maybe they melted. A small smile appeared on your face, which he mirrored and leans in. Have you forgiven me? You whisper and you shake your head. His face drops. Should I kneel before you? Tell me, how will you forgive me? Speak, and in his eyes you see desperation and guilt. Remove this locket, you say in demanding tone. All three of them look at you. Don't drop his gaze to the pendant, then lean toward your neck. He slides the pendant with his hand, his lips brushing your skin. The session make your eyes flutter shut. Then the locket drops into your lap, opened by his teeth. You take it in your hand, clutching it, which remind you of that horrific night. I will do anything to earn your forgiveness. He whispers in your ear, like in your earlobe. You throw the locket to the ground, crush it beneath your feet. The locket that both young's name. His eyes shut tightly as he watches you just drop his name under your feet. This was not a locket, it was tickets for me, you say through creadit. Then your wrist is put it against your. I'm sorry, love, I'm so sorry for everything I have done. He speaks and pulls you into a notice something in your neck. I will not even let those nights or those moments come back into your life. He says with plenty of kisses, and you hug him back. I believe we will never go back on the words, please. You say madly into his embarrassment, resting your head on his chest. All three of them smile tearfully, and tears are feeding your face. My eyes split open, and I must have pressed between two men, none other than my husband's manager. Last night I was sleeping with him when Jacob walked into the room and decided to sleep with me too. I discovered I had made their business also like these three even get jealous of each other, which is exactly what toward our because it's not nice. And from the glimpses I can say this too are rough and violent bad. My thoughts are interrupted by a sudden stinging sensation, a slight burn. Jacob bite my hand, automatically reaches for his face, which was nuzzled into my neck. My eyes fall on my breast and the tragic bracelet was gone. I placed my hand on John's face just as he had made me wear his shirt last night. He screamed at that word. I'm sorry, Princess. He mama still snuggled into you. The brace had become a recurring echo from all three of them lately. You stroke his hair gently, love his husky voice reaches your ear, and you turn to face him. His messy as lips, just like your drew closer as he moves to your side. He places a hand on your breast, pulling you into him, burying you in his vomit. Is my princess okay? Are you ready anywhere? He asks in a concerned tone, and you shake your head slightly. That's when his hands slip beneath your shirt, kissing your lower abdomen with a sensation sense of a butterfly across your skin, and you sweat when you see the smoke forming on his lips. Did my finger hurt you too much? His words strike you right back to last night. His voice agony. You are getting shy. What will you do when I'm parading inside you? Are its rise to your cheek, and you snuggle into his chest. Just a little, you whisper, and he chuckles at your shyness. That means you are getting ready to take my. He whisper into your ear, voice thick with heat. That's when a tattooed hand comes over your stomach, and you glance towards Jungkook. His dark eyes look onto you with a feeling jealousy. Come here, love, he says in a deep, raspy voice. You look at him, and you are staring at you with the same intensity. He leans in and places a long peck on your lips. I'm going for a shower. He kisses your forehead and walks into the bathroom. Jungkook immediately pushes you to him by your first. I will pay anywhere, love. Are you okay? Pushing his finger around your cheeks. Slowly close your eyes and slides into your shirt, stopping your stomach gently. He took both of our last night, princess. Of course, there is going to be no towards you, so right beside him, that nothing on upper body, just a lower, like he just stepped out of his shower. He laid beside you, only then making you sing, then pulls you into his arm, and he remains sitting up and smiling into your chest. You look at his tired face and place a soft kiss on his forehead, and then you wrap him in your arms, burying him in your breast, when you through his hair piece. A lower whisper escaped his lips, and you smiled, placing another kiss on his hair. Please, Opal, let's organize a party. She stubbornly shook Taeyong's arm as he spoke. Well, he simply shook his head in disinterest. Beside him, Jimin Sophia said, listening silently to Tiara's demand with blank face. I can organize a party for you, but I have no interest to celebrate my birthday. If you won't celebrate your birthday, then I won't celebrate mine either. Her voice softened, her eyes bleeding like a puppy. Jung rubbed his temple, clearly unwilling to celebrate. Despite that, Tiara and Jung were doing their birthday well on the same day. Tiara wanted to celebrate with him no matter what. You listened to the stairs slowly from the edge. You watched the two siblings locked in a stubborn argument. What's going on here? You approached them, and all their eyes turned toward you. Well, look, tomorrow is Oppa's and my birthday, and he is refusing to celebrate it. She rushed to your side desperately. The truth of you, I refuse to celebrate my birthday, not hers. Wait, tomorrow is your birthday. You turned to them, immediately up your face. He simply nodded with blank face. Then we will throw a grand party. You said, sitting down beside him. Your words found them, so he softened slightly as he looked at you. Fine, we will have a grand party, but not for me, only for Tiara. Your smile floated at his word. In that heavy silence, Tiara leaned before Jung with puppy eyes. Please, Oppa, please agree. It's been years since I have celebrated my birthday, and you have to celebrate it with me. Yes, Jung, you just have to cut the cake. That's all. You plead them with that both of your Tiara desperate, pleading eyes and sign humility. Okay, Jung. She gave a small tearful smile instantly. You and Tiara wrapped your arm around him in excitement, with a rare smile on Jimin's and Jung's face as they watched the scene unfold. Let's go for shopping for tomorrow's party, she said excitedly, and you stood up, agreeing. Jimin glanced at Sophia, who gave him a silent nod, assuring him about your and Tiara's safety as she prepared to leave with you. We will need to tighten security for tomorrow's party. That said, Wilson has already entered the country. He spoke in cold tone. Jungkook and Jung shared a sharp look and nodded. Did you ask for Wilson's photo? He asked, turning a hand through his hair. His tone clipped. In 2 days, we will have that photo, and then we will hunt him down. In a grand hall, the lavish party was already underway. Case powerful mafia businessmen engrossed in whisper conversation all around. The number of guests was limited. Only the John's most trusted allies allowed inside. Shock burst across the hall for tonight. They could once again witness the real daughter of the John. Tiara stood at the center of the hall, surrounded by guards. Jimin and Jung discussed serious matters in corner, while Taeyong remained busy on a call. He cut the call sharply and then froze. His gaze was loud and moving, watching you descend the staircase. You wore a red wine-colored off-shoulder gown that hugged every curve of your hair, kissed freely, and diamond earrings shimmered at your ears, giving you a thinner glow. You walked toward Taeyong, a soft smile curving your lips, and he could not take his eyes off you. Happy birthday, you said softly, pulling him out of his trance. A rare, genuine smile broke across his face. A wish wouldn't be enough. I need a gift, princess. His voice dropped low as he pulled you into him by your waist, making you land against his chest. You cupped his face tenderly. You touched, grounding his wild heartbeat as his eyes locked onto your gift. You will find it in your room. You teased with playful smirk. His brows turned in dark amusement. I'm excited for my gift. He tugged lightly at a strand of your hair, his thumb brushing across your cheek possessively. We now come on, let's cut the cake. You led him toward the center of the hall. Tiara and Taeyong stood together and began the cake cutting ceremony. Tiara fed Taeyong the first bite, smiling brightly, but Taeyong, he turned timidly toward you, offering you a first bite. He cut himself. The party roared to live music, dancing, and clicking glass, filling the grand hall. Sure, both the ladies stay protected. He instructed the guards, who rode sharply and disappeared into the crowd. Taeyong leaned against the bar counter, a glass of whiskey in his hand, casually engaged in conversation until his gaze stayed at the dance floor and froze there. You were dancing with another man. The sight made his blood boil. Dark rays twisted his features as he watched the stranger's hand rest on your waist. You hand on the man's shoulder. Then took and his eye turned blood red with fury. Without thinking, he pressed the glass in his hand, shedding slice deeply into his skin. Blood dribbled to the floor, and then he pulled out his gun, aiming it steadily at the man who dared to touch you. Your eyes widened when you saw him, and thus was standing between Taeyong and the man just in time. Shit, he cursed under his breath, his finger twitching away from the trigger as you come closer. What were you about to do, Theon? You said, your voice shaking slightly, staring into his bloodshot, fluid-filled eyes. Why the were you dancing with that piece of shit? He growled low, grabbing your arm. That's when you saw it, the blood dripping from his hand. When he gripped you, you grabbed his hand carefully. Your face filled with guns in your hand. You were bleeding. What did he do? You asked with trembling voice, but he pulled his hand free. First, tell me why the hell you were dancing with him. Who is he? I swear I will kill him right here. He pointed the gun again, furious, but you quickly grabbed his hand again, shaking your head desperately. I know him. We meet at another party. He is his friend Theon. He asked me for a dance, and I said yes. That's it. You spoke quickly, trying to calm him. You are mine, Ryan, and you know how possessive I am. Just the thought of you in someone else's arm makes my blood boil. He growled, breathing heavily. He cupped his face, your touch soft against his burning skin. I know all three of you are fiercely possessive over me, and I am your only girl. When dance does not change that, Theon, please calm down. He whispered, stopping cheek, feeling him lean helplessly into your hand. I can't stand seeing you with someone else. Today's my birthday, my special day. You were supposed to stay with me through this entire celebration for you. Dancing with someone else, his voice felt thick with hurt. Guilt rose in you as you looked at him, contemplating on the inside and out. I'm sorry, and I'm going to let you tell me I'm still here with you always. I'm sure this memory is urgently long. He gently pulled your hands away from his face, stepping back from you. It was Friday, you should have been by my side when soon as I was over him. You shut your eyes and turned away, walking toward the staircase. Without a backward glance, you took a desperate step forward, determined to follow him, but he stopped and turned, his voice still and cold. Leave me alone, you closed your throat, dried up. You watched helplessly as he disappeared into the upper floor. His hand is bleeding, his heart. I have to go to him, you whispered steadily, yourself taking a step toward the staircase. But then where are you going, princess? You turned to Jimmy and Jim, who stood in front of you, glorious. They both frowned immediately, seeing your worried, proper expression. Jim looked your face tenderly. What's wrong, love? I didn't look worried. Did someone say something to you? You shook your head quickly, pressing your lips together to control your emotion. Actually, you began voice trembling and told them everything. Their eyes darkened instantly, their dark gaze locked to your soft one. No man has the right to even breath in your direction except for us. It was dangerously deep. You looked at them, you lost them, but they immediately softened their gaze, and Jimmy pulled you into his arm. No tears in my princess' eyes. We are not angry with you. He didn't do anything wrong. It's the fault for even daring to think he could dance with you. He said, kissing your cheeks, and you snapped quietly. But please agree with me. I had him on his listen there. His hand was also injured. You said in a worried tone. Jimmy hugged you from the side, grounding you with his warmth. He will calm down soon, don't worry. No, I have to go to him before he hurt himself more in anger. You pulled away from Jimmy's arms and gently. Then we pressed a kiss against your forehead, calming you. Then go to him. He can't stay mad at you for long, neither can we. You nodded quickly and rushed upstairs. A man dressed in black scanned the hall, his hawk-like eyes glistening under the low light. A smile tugged at his lip. With deliberate step, he walked through the crowd, only to crash into someone chattering and straying across the marble floor. Are you blind or what? Her voice cut like wave. Without hesitation, she grabbed his collar and yanked him down to her level. Her eyes sparkling with rage, tossing her hair back urgently. She released him with a show and stopped with that. Who the hell was she? Invited not to say anything to her. He approached, having witnessed everything, but suddenly saw a dangerous glint in his eyes. Do you have any idea who that woman is? Devil shook his head, lazily sipping his drink without a care. Half of the God-given underworld bends to her will, and she served under the John Empire. So she is powerful and gorgeous. He smirked, eyes trailing to Sophia. More than that, she is John's deadliest weapon. Wilson's eyes swept over the gathering of powerhouse around them. Can we use her? He asked, eyes glistening with ruthless intent. Wilson answered with a twisted smirk. Let's find out, Miss Sophia. Together they walked toward her. Wilson and Angelo climbed the stair and find Theon standing on a large balcony puffing cigarette. His back turned to them. They walk up to him, and Theon, are you still mad at why? Theon turned around with confused face. No, why? What happened? Jim and Angelo see the glance, scanning the air surrounding. Then why is not she with you? Where did she go home? Where did she go? He speaks with confusion at the two grown deeply. You should know she came to you tonight. She thought she would never come to much that you should attend the find immediately if anything happened to will be able to stop me from ripping this place apart. He grows in the middle of the hall, his face and glitter through the air as everyone stands frozen. Lock all exits, no one leave until we find her. of them clenched, their jaw tightened, rage building inside them. Without hesitation, they planned a hard punch on the girl's face. "What the hell were you doing? I swear if anything happened to her, no one will live to see another day. Search every cabin floor. I want my wife back, or consider this your last day alive." The guards scattered, desperately searching for Ryan, while the guests remained frozen, too afraid to move. Meanwhile, Sophia appears from the other side, and Jimmy immediately rushes toward her. "Do you know where Ryan is?" His tone is desperate. Sophia groaned, looking around at the tense faces. "No, it's been a while since I last saw her. I was in the washroom." Jimmy grabs his hair in frustration, tugging roughly. "We can't find her anywhere.